My girlfriend said she lost her virginity to me partially because she found me exotic. Is this a red flag? Please ignore everyone saying to run. Just sit down and have a conversation with her about how that made you feel. Communication is key to all relationships, and if you're still uncomfortable, then break up. This way you gain experience in communication and setting boundaries for yourself. She sounds too similar to my ex Eichel. My ex said she dated a Pakistani guy in secondary school and had been addicted to brown boys since. Even more funny is that we also met on dating apps, and she also had her set to South Asian people. Anyways, I'm sure you have a judgment of your own about your missus, but I left mine soon after because I couldn't handle her. Personally, for me it felt too wrong, and I knew I wouldn't have been able to introduce her to my parents with the mindset she had, so I broke it off. Gonna be honest, bro, this is a red flag in the same way jungle fever or yellow fever are red flags. When your set of criteria for a partner, not just an FWB or fuck buddy, must include a specific set of ethnic attributes, it should be treated as a yellow flag at best. Why? Because it's dehumanizing. It reduces a whole ass person down to their skin color, hair type and/or eye color and accent, etc. Can it be tolerable? Sure, but when someone isn't with you for who you are, but instead for what you are, that's a tenuous basis for an actual relationship. At best. So you become a fetish object and not a real person. It's up to you how you approach this, and you mention it's a time-limited relationship, so that might help with clarity. My only advice is do not get emotionally involved with this woman in any way, shape, or form. Have as much sex as you can tolerate, given her avowed fetishes, but avoid attachment. This isn't what your first emotional relationship should look like, and we're always worried there will never be another one. Don't. You'll be fine. Good luck. As a straight, effeminate, South Asian male that paints his nails, her notions are highly misguided. Yeah, that's pretty ikey. Yeah, would be justified in ending it if you wanted IMO. You could also try to talk to her and explain why this bothered you, but be ready for her to not be receptive. That she has racist ideas and biases she needs to work through is obvious. It's up to you if she's worth the work of helping her work through them, and up to her if she's willing to try. I'm not sure I get what's going on here. Can someone educate me about the use of the word exotic and how this differs from a non-offensive preference? And what a non-offensive preference even is? Not trolling, I genuinely want to understand this. Never encountered this concept before. I would recommend posting this in Racian American or RABC Daisies to get takes from other Asian Americans, since, from my experience, general Reddit is filled with people who like to justify racial fetishization and may not understand the POC perspective. Nothing against Indian culture, but just saying South Asian as opposed to Pakistani made me feel like any Indian or Bangladeshi guy is just as replaceable as me to her. Would you have felt better if she had specifically said Pakistani? Why or why not? American men were too effeminate and small and painted their nails. I'm tripping much more over this part. I've never been to America, but I assume that there are some men that are more traditionally masculine and some that are less, which is both totally okay. But I'm sensing some antiquated views about gender here. Obviously, I've never met your GF, but it seems like she carries at least some amount of prejudice. LOL at the people on this sub who think that fetishization is not a big deal. I am surprised because they are the first to scream break up. Hesh is a narcissist. But somehow they would let some bullshit like that fly? I thought you were all empath? As someone who was also called exotic by a person who wanted to be topped by somebody of a different skin tone, Ruun. These types of people literally consider you a souvenir they can play with until they have to settle down with someone non-exotic. I've never felt more degraded as a human being. In their eyes you are not equal, you are not even human. You'll always be replaceable. Run. I know everyone else is making excuses for her and trying to explain it, but there's never any reason to say those things to another person. She needs to figure out that it's not okay to fetishize people. But I also don't think you need to stick around for that. Find someone who sees you, not someone who's just excited to try writing an exotic brown guy. Take it from someone who's been on the receiving end of fetishism enough times to know it's not worth your time. This feels icky. It's making you uncomfortable too. It's not nothing. These are racial microaggressions. Your feelings about it are valid. It's code for I want to experiment, which also means she's not serious. Her comments are fucking disgusting. I wouldn't be able to touch her again after that. She considers melanated men akin to beasts. She's vacationing outside of her race. Get out. Good movie. Major red flag. As a black man, I would leave those types of people alone. I'm literally horrified by the amount of comments that say this is fine and op is complaining about nothing. She's clearly searching for South Asian men to fulfill a specific fantasy she's got about exotic men and then being more masculine. Not to mention the homophobia as well. Even if she wasn't so clearly fetishizing South Asians, she clearly doesn't know a lot about South Asian people. Like Op mentioned, we aren't a homogenous group. Nepal is very different to Pakistan. For example, dating uneducated white people itself is exhausting, that on top of the fetishizing equals RUN. Yeah, she is definitely fetishizing you, buddy. If she is fetishizing your skin color and that is still a major factor for her attraction to you, you might want to walk away. Yes, you are not a zoo animal or a rainforest.